Hi, my name's Helene McLaughlin, and I'm really grateful to have this chance to speak with all of you about my program, Calm and Alert. I'm sorry I can't be with you today. I work at a public elementary school as a school counselor and have been a school counselor for over 30 years. I'm also a clinical counselor and a certified Kripalu yoga teacher. And I began my journey of bringing the yoga and mindfulness practices to the public school that I worked at in Midcoast, Maine in the early 2000s because I was so concerned about the children and the lack of skill that they were showing in self regulation, the usual approaches I was taking to teaching them regulation were not helping them to the degree that I hoped they would. And I was also very concerned about health and wellness for the children and all the staff at the school under the pressures that the public school environment creates. So I had my own well developed practice and so had a yearning to bring the benefits to my population. I was committed to staying at my school for the rest of my career, which I have, so I had longevity on my side. And I knew I wanted to be careful about that and be careful that the program I was bringing and the way I approached the practices were ethical and non controversial because I knew that the practices were new and sometimes foreign to the school community. I also wanted to be careful that they were effective and that people could see that they were effective in a school environment that is so critical, that even if you can't collect data, that teachers see and administrators see that they are really effective. So that's how I started. I had a lot of trust already built with the people at the school because they knew me as a school counselor. I had a like minded principal also, which is critical to the success administrative support. So I was very fortunate as I began. So as I went about creating the program, which I call Calm and Alert, I knew that I wanted the instruction to be very explicit, to be very careful. I saw that the children were not responding as well as I would have liked to some of the traditional ways of teaching social skills and self regulation. So I set about creating 30-minute to 40-minute yoga classes, as many of you have. And I wanted them to be in the classroom, in every classroom, not in the PE class or whatever, because I felt strongly that I wanted the practices to generalize in the areas that we were hoping the children would use the skills right there, then and there. So the teachers were open, and as you all know, it can sometimes be a little startling for teachers when you move furniture and roll out mats, but they were really gracious in allowing me to do so. And so I created six, what I think of as unit areas or instructional concepts within the framework of creating a little mini yoga class each time with all the elements that you know well as a yoga class elements. The first was respect, and that is a word that's a little overused, if that can be true. In a school, people use it a lot, and yet the children didn't seem to really know deeply what it meant. So I felt like our field had so much to offer in the area of respect throughout the whole class. So, respect is the first area of instruction. The second is calm. And this internal state, which we often teach, was not well understood, I don't think, in a public school environment. So I spend a lot of time teaching what it looks like, what it feels like inside, and was really amazed how many children didn't really have a good feeling of what calm is inside of themselves. The third area is alert, being awake and ready to learn or to do anything that was expected of them. And again, I was seeing so many children that were tired, lethargic. It's still a great concern of mine, how demanding modern life is on children. Um, and then the last three areas all have to do with the times of the school day and helping them be more skillful. So in our field, there's been a lot of emphasis on transition times. And of course, those are really danger areas, right, for children and being able to be regulated at those times. But I saw the need for also instruction in learning times and explaining what that means and what's expected, and social times, times with people. So the last three areas are learning time, transition time, and social time. So those are the six areas, and each one I teach 1 to 3 lessons, particularly in kindergarten, the first year of school, which has been very effective because then the children come to know the practices as part of school. Um, and yes, so that's kind of an overview of the program. I'm very grateful to have had this time with you and to celebrate, I think, what we're doing and the effectiveness of the practices. It's been very well received at my school. The language is part of the school culture, and everyone uses a chime and takes their deep breaths, even at whole school assemblies over the years. Um, and so I wish you all well, and namaste.